This is Stephen Lee. I'm an attorney in New Jersey. Normally, I do my videos in Chinese, as most of my clients are speaking Chinese. However, since 1/3 of my clients are English speaking, and they often ask why we need title insurance, I prepare this one in English, especially for them. Many people in the United States have purchased properties, ranging from multi-million-dollar mansions to homes costing just a few $1,000s. However, in most cases, after a buyer closes the deal, and gets the key, they don't receive a property ownership certificate, similar to the ownership of a car or a company's stock. Instead, they get a few pages known as a deed. I say most cases because there's one type of property in the United States that comes with something similar to a property certificate, which I will discuss at the end. In our world, around the globe, such as most European countries or China, when you buy a property, you receive a property ownership certificate. This certificate, whether obtained through an agent, a developer, or directly from the property registry office, is the government's official proof that the holder has exclusive ownership of the property. In the United States, however, after closing a property purchase, there isn't an equivalent official ownership document. In other words, there's no American property ownership certificate. This difference is tied to the long-standing property system in the United States, or in the common law legal systems such as England, Hong Kong. Property transactions in the United States date back well before modern regulations. To prove ownership of a piece of land, U.S. legal traditions rely on evidence, not government proof. Theoretically, you need to trace the entire history of the transactions involving that land to ensure there are no legal gaps. Errors in property ownership transfers can lead to disputes. For instance, imagine a post-World War II American soldier who fathered a child with a woman in Japan. The soldier returns to the United States, married, and had four more children. He later passed away, leaving a farm with no will, which was then inherited by his 4 American children. They sold the farm to a developer who built 100 homes. Decades later, the Japanese child came to the United States and sued all the current homeowners, seeking a fifth of the original sales value, because his inheritance was never considered. This is an example of how errors in the transfer process can occur when historical records are not properly verified or cannot be properly verified. Now, imagine a piece of land was bought and sold 50 times over 300 years in the past, an average of once every 6 years. For the current owner to prove exclusive ownership to a buyer, they would need to provide records for all 300 years of transactions. In practice, this is impossible. Here, in most countries, the government issued property ownership certificate has an advantage. Once it is issued, it eliminates any potential ownership disputes, declaring the certificate holder is the rightful and the exclusive owner. But that's not going to happen in the United States. So, when you purchase a property in the United States, what do you actually receive at closing? A deed, a document that might surprise you. A deed is a legal document recording the most recent transaction, including the buyer and the seller's name, the sale price, and the signing date. It is not an official announcement that you are the proud owner. It is just a record of the last transaction. Can you be sure that you have exclusive ownership? Not necessarily, because you haven't seen the full property history. However, don't worry, this is a minor issue in the world's most powerful country, the United States. And the solution lies in title insurance. In the United States, the title insurance is a $30 billion industry. Without a government agency, like in other countries, to verify ownership and issue a property ownership certificate, title insurance companies step in. They research the property history, and if any ownership disputes arise after closing, they compensate you for your losses. This makes real estate transactions smoother. Buyers don't need to worry if the seller legally acquired and holds the property. The title insurance company performs the necessary checks, ensuring the visible records are flawless. As a result, in the United States, you don't get a property ownership certificate, but you do get a deed, which must be registered or recorded with the government. If you purchase title insurance, you get a documental property ownership, similar to property ownership certificate in most countries around the world. If you do not purchase a title insurance, all you have is a record of the property's most recent transaction. Okay, finally, what's the type of property in the United States that does come with something like a property certificate? It's called a co-op, short for cooperative apartment. This is a building or group of buildings being turned into a corporation that issues shares corresponding to the units. For example, if a building has 50 two-bedroom units and 50 one-bedroom units, the building is treated as a company with 15,000 shares. Owning 100 shares might correspond to a one-bedroom unit, while 200 shares might correspond to a two-bedroom unit. You receive a certificate showing how many shares you own and which unit you have right to. To conclude, in the United States, if you purchase a house and get a deed, you only get a recordable document showing the last transaction for the house. If you add a title insurance, your purchase is insured by the title insurance company that you are the proud owner of the property exclusively. Thank you.